Hello and welcome to Learn Live Streaming Live. My name is John Lacey, and today on the show we're going to be talking about DJI Mics, DJI wireless mics, the Mic 2, the Mic 3, and the mini mics as well. I don't actually have the mini mics, but we'll get to that in a second. But we are going out live to all the various places, so if you are watching live, please throw something in the chat so I know you're out there. Great to have your company today. And I guess the other thing I should do is press this magical button. We can go to johnlacey.com/live for the best experience. And we are sort of working towards that 1,000 subscribers mark. And I haven't actually even looked at the old profile to see what it's looking like right now. 981. So thank you if for anyone out there subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it. I realize I haven't done a lot of streaming of late, but I'm hoping to catch up with that. So let's actually do a bit of the old screen share. So I'm going to be referring to this article that I wrote on LinkedIn a little bit, which you can find at johnlacey.com/news. But we're going to look at the DJI Mics, the DJI Mic 2, Mic 3, the mobile receiver, and some other accessories that can be really quite useful. But let's head over to DJI's website, and this is the mic series. So first of all, there's the original DJI mic, which I don't think is... I was going to say I don't think it's still available, but it looks like it could be in some cases. But anyway, that exists, so that's good to know. Then we've got the Mic 2, we've got the Mic 3, and we've got the DJI Mic Mini and Mic Mini 2. I should note too that there is, on their homepage, they are sort of teasing this thing, the DJI Mic Mini 2S. I have absolutely no idea what this is. I don't know what it is. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what that is and find out in the fullness of things. But for the moment, let's just focus on the ones that we do actually know about. And I do have some of these today, and I just want to talk about what they are and why you might want to use some of these things. And unusually, I have a lot of props to play with today, so I'm just trying to make sense of my desk, but that's okay. All right, so let's start out, I guess, the important distinction between the Mic Minis and the 2 and the 3s. So if you do drill into these and you can compare them on the website, they do have a number of different features, but the main difference here is that the Mic Mini is just a receiver, like it is just a microphone, whereas the DJI Mic 2 and Mic 3 both have internal storage, so you can actually record directly to the microphone, and that can be really useful if you just want to record audio only, if you're using it as an audio note-taking device. Also, even if you've got it connected to a camera or multiple cameras, just knowing that you've got a backup on the microphone itself can be really good, because if there's any interruption of that signal, all kinds of weird and wonderful things can happen. And I realize I'm not actually on the right chat, so there might be people out there actually chatting that I can't see. So sorry about that. I think I fixed that in the background. As I said, I haven't been streaming that much and I'm a little bit rusty, so please forgive me. But getting back to the mics, we do have the internal storage. So again, and let me just show you the couple that I've actually got here. One thing is that a lot of these mics have some sort of magnetic component. So if you do have them on your desk, just be mindful of that, because it'll connect to everything. Hello to Walter. Great to have your company. Great to see you. But today we're talking about these little things. And again, I've got two hands and too many things to hold. So this one here is the Mic 2. And I've got the wind muff connected there. The Mic 2 and the Mic 3. You'll see, obviously, one of these is a lot larger than the other. And the DJI Mic 2, because it is that little bit larger, it has a few extra features on it, in the sense that it's got a USB connection, so you can actually charge this and you can connect it to your computer if you want to get the recordings off it. It also has a jack at the top of this for a lavalier microphone. So again, I'm doing so much prop work, it's kind of ridiculous. This is just one from Newer, but basically I can connect this into here, and then we can record directly from here to here. Again, make sure you plug that in all the way. So that's on the Mic 2. It is worth mentioning too, it has a large clip. on the back of it, so you can literally clip it to your shirt. And it has a little magnet too, which is bizarrely strong, which in some ways is probably a good thing, in other ways can be kind of annoying. But that's the Mic 2. The Mic 3, a lot smaller. Tiny little thing. This really only has a special connector, which it'll come with a charging device that you just sit this on. And it's got 2 buttons on the side. One is for recording and one is for linking. And that's all that is. And again, I actually bought this as this thing, just by itself, just the microphone itself. And I guess we'll talk about that in a second, but there are different ways of buying these mics and they'll give you different features. This one came with this little pouch, which includes all the accessories. I should mention too that none of this stuff is sponsored. I paid for all of this stuff with my own money. The Mic 2 actually came with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Kit. But in here, we've got the windshields, and there's a grey one and a black one for the Mic 3. There's also the charging connection, which I've taken out of here. And I'm pretty sure we have a magnet in here, which I haven't really played with yet. Still in the packaging. There's a tiny little magnet. And the magnet also, and there's a clip in there as well. Yes. Okay, cool. So we've got a question from Walter. Walter writes, the Mic 2 can be used with an HP laptop for recording and live streaming. Yes. So I guess we probably should take a step back, and I just need to explain a couple of things before we get to the answer of this question. But essentially, if you go to DJI's website, you'll see all the different types of mics. If we go to, say, the DJI Mic 2, for example. Okay. So I have 2 buttons here. One essentially is learn now. One is buy more, or buy now rather. So if I go to the buy now, you'll see that we have all these different options in terms of how we can buy these. So we can buy these with the charging case, and you've got 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. So the transmitter is actually the microphone itself. Whereas the receiver is something that you can plug into a computer or a phone or a laptop to actually get the signal in. We do have the mics by themselves. So again, this is the DJI Mic 2, which actually came in 2 different colors. And we've got an option to get a single transmitter, a single microphone, and a receiver as well. And you'll see that we have the same sort of thing for all these different types of microphones. So this is the Mic 3. And again, I must admit, I love the look of these charging cases. I really wanted to get a charging case, but I was just conscious of the fact that I was one guy who doesn't really interview people, so I wasn't sure if I needed that. But again, we've got all those different options. So in terms of actually connecting this, we have a few different options. And I might even just go back to my little article on LinkedIn. So they have what they call DJI Osmo Audio Connection, which I think is just Bluetooth. If I'm being honest, I think it's just Bluetooth. But the great thing about that is it'll actually let you connect to a number of different Osmo, a number of different DJI cameras automatically. And again, I think it's powered by Bluetooth. I don't know that they've actually come out and said that, but that is the feeling I got. So the Osmo Pocket, the Osmo 360, the Osmo Action 5 Pro, the Osmo Action 4, or the Osmo Pocket 3, and I believe also the Osmo Pocket 4 as well. So you can literally just connect this up to those devices without a receiver. But if you've got other devices, you probably will need a receiver. And I guess, you know, I hear a lot about Bluetooth for these. I'll talk about why Bluetooth is a problem. In fact, I mentioned it down here in this same article. So I don't know what this looks like in the Apple world. I'm not an Apple guy, so I really can't report on that. But you do need very specific applications that support the use of both an external microphone, but also potentially a Bluetooth microphone, of which, according to DJI's own documentation, there were only 4 apps on the Android ecosystem that we know of that actually use this. Filmic Pro, ProTake are the 2 video options. I gave them a go. They didn't really excite me. So what I guess and to take another step back, what I was sort of imagining is how can I use this with my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and also my phone. So that was the point at which I got this thing. And let me turn off screen sharing for a second. And again, my lights are probably too bright for you to see this. This is the mobile receiver. This is a tiny, tiny little thing. It's a USB-C device. You can plug this into your computer. You can plug this into your phone, probably tablet as well. And that'll actually receive signals from these microphones. And I guess to go back to DJI's website for a second, and I feel like this is a really convoluted answer to your question, Walter, but we'll get there eventually. So a lot of these, like this one, for example, this is DJI Mic 3 transmitter and receiver. So you get this receiver, and this is a device you can plug into your phone, you can plug into your computer, your laptop, whatever. And this is great, but this receiver only works with other DJI Mic 3 products. So if you're in my position, and again, everything's magnetic, so they're jumping onto each other. But if I wanted these two microphones, so I've got the Mic 2 and the Mic 3. If I wanted to connect both of those to my phone, I couldn't actually do it with one of those receivers. But I can actually do it with this thing. And again, what you'll see actually is that on a bunch of YouTube videos, people describe this as costing $15. It didn't cost $15 for me in Australian dollars. I can tell you that for nothing. It was more like 30, and that was me importing it from Amazon in the UK. But this can actually mix and match two mics to one device. So that in itself is really cool. Okay, so what I can do, and in fact, I'm not sure if I was going to do this or not, but I'm going to turn this mic on. I'm just pressing the little red button on the side. I'm going to put this into my computer, if I can find it. Just trying to find the USB-C port. In fact, what I might do, I'm just going to throw something really quickly, and I'll do this, and we'll come back in just a second. Okay, and that was just some footage from the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera with a little stabilizer. So what I've done is I've plugged that little receiver into my computer. I'm actually just going to bring up a version of OBS because this actually gets to Walter's next question. And I'm just going to bring up a portable version of OBS. And again, probably what I should have done is actually unpack the proper magnetic connection for this, but I'm just going to, this is a tiny little clip that I've got off AliExpress, I think, from memory. So it just clips on there, and I could put this on my shirt. Probably want to think about where you're placing this, but I think for the moment that's fine. All right, so I've actually already set this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that off. Okay. All right. So if I'm just going to share my screen. So essentially, once this is connected, you'll see that it's actually doing its thing. In fact, what it's doing right now is it's actually capturing the audio from this thing, which is on the Broadcaster Pro. But let me just mute that for a second. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this and we'll just do it again. So now that I've got that connected, and again, what I do is I hit the little linking button on here and it pairs with that device. And now if I go into OBS and I go add my audio input capture, and I'll say DJI Mic. And now from the drop down here, I've got the different options. And the one we're actually looking for is this wireless mic RX. It might be something a little bit different if you actually have one that came with the wireless 2 or wireless 3, etc. But I click on that, I go okay, and I can see that I've got my audio here. It is spiking a little loud, so I probably want to go into my advanced audio properties and maybe bring this down in volume a little bit. Let's say -4 dB. Testing, 1, 2, 3. That's probably okay. So again, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into this waveform visualizer and I'm just going to go and select that now. So this essentially is capturing the audio from this and it's bringing it into OBS. But to be honest, it could bring this into anything on your computer. So the trick with this, if we go back to the newsletter article, if you're doing this with your phone, you do need to make sure that you've got an app that supports it. And again, I'm not really clear on how this works in the Apple ecosystem. If you know the answer to this, please leave me a comment. That'd be great to know for other people. But essentially, the two apps that I found that actually do record external audio with video is Open Camera and the Motive Video app from Shure. So let me just show you these really briefly. They're very simple, free apps here. And the only thing that it does differently to any other camera on your phone really is that it just gives you the ability to select an external microphone. And again, that's with that little wireless receiver connected. So I didn't have a lot of luck with the Bluetooth options. I think the Bluetooth is a bit of a trap. So we sort of have to think about that as well. But what I might do, just to give you another sense of this, if I bring up Hindenburg Pro, which is just some, this is just some podcasting software, really. It's for radio. But essentially, if I go to my microphone options and I go to wireless mic, I've got left, right, stereo. I think left will suffice for this single one. But now I can click record. I can go record and go, hello and welcome to today's episode of the podcast. We'll be doing XYZ. So again, you can use these with video cameras. You can use them without video cameras. It can be an audio only thing, but it's a really great way. Although in this case, again, it looks like it's spiking like crazy. So I probably need to adjust. It's probably going to adjust this too, but I probably need to just be a little bit more mindful of the input of that. It doesn't sound terrible though. So, I mean, that's good. But again, I could potentially adjust. In fact, I can see that's all the way up. So again, all you need to do, and again, if you've got different types of microphone, if you've got the 2 and the 3 or a mini and a 2 or a mini and a 3, and you've got 2 microphones only, the way you can do this, is to bring them in with this mobile receiver. And again, it's not a lot of money, although it was a lot of money for me. Actually, let me take a step back and try to explain what I mean by that, because if we go to the DJI Mic Mini, you'll see that this this mobile receiver, if it's here, which it doesn't look like it is. Okay. I search mobile receiver. So yeah, this thing in Australian dollars, 49 Australian dollars, which to be honest, I don't think is unreasonable, but it is a lot more than a lot of people on YouTube were describing it as. So just keep that in mind. And certainly shop around. So I guess the note that I kind of made in my article here was that, you know, it cost me 30 Australian dollars, which I got from Amazon UK, and I kind of wondered if I shouldn't go back and buy a second one because I thought this would be really useful. And by that point, it almost jumped up to $40. So if you see them cheaply, go and grab them. Probably true of a lot of things at this point in time. So yeah. So hopefully that that answers that question. So Walter wrote how the connection, how do you connect it with your live streaming software, StreamYard or Restream? So again, just make sure that you've got it connected, you've got it linked to your microphone, single or double, and then just make sure you choose that from the settings. And again, it's the same sort of thing, whether you're using Zoom, whether you're using StreamYard or Restream, Studio. It's just a matter of finding that particular example. So again, if I go back to the Hindenburg, you'll see it's described as wireless mic RX. So the other great thing about all of this, he says, although he realized it wasn't actually sharing at that point in time, but essentially once it's connected, once your computer recognizes it, just look for that microphone wireless mic RX. And again, if you've got more than one microphone connected to it, there's a good chance that one will be left and one will be right, and you could potentially split those up as well. Okay, so let's talk about the mobile app, the Mimo app. So this is from DJI. And I'm just going to see if I can open that up into a new tab. Yep, okay, cool. So all of DJI's products use this Mimo app. So it's a good thing to be aware of, and some people have feelings about that. They don't want to use an app on their phone to operate their equipment, and that's entirely up to you, especially for these mics. Unless you are recording to your phone, I don't know that there's much, except for the potential to maybe change some of these settings. I don't think there's much you need to be too concerned about. But essentially, with the wireless mic receiver, I can go into the settings, and you will be prompted when you connect it to your phone if it wants to open this app. And you can see which mic or microphones, plural, are connected to this. We can see if we're recording to a mono or stereo track. So again, if you've got two microphones connected to this and you want them separate, you would record stereo. If you've just got the one, you can actually turn on this safety track. And essentially, that's just going to record the same audio on left and right, but I think the right channel will be a little bit softer. We can adjust the gain control. So if you are finding that you're spiking a lot in the way that I have been, you can definitely do that. Monitoring gain, if applicable, noise reduction. So we do actually have some noise reduction options, but for the mobile receiver itself, there's actually a physical button at the bottom of it, which has off, low, and high. And you physically adjust that on the physical button if you want to do that. And then you can go down to the transmitter, so the individual microphones. So you can actually record audio only straight into the Mimo app, which can be a really useful thing to do. We can adjust the voice tone, which I think is essentially just EQ. We can adjust the file options there as well, and we can adjust the format. And it's sort of giving some indication of how much time I could record there as well. All right, so we've got that as well. So these mics are really handy. I guess the other thing, let me just see if I can unclip this one. And again, I can record just to it alone, but I'm going to turn this off. Just hold down the red button. So I guess one thing I will mention is that this, and again, let me press that button so you can see it a little bit more clearly. This is the Mic 2. It is larger, and some people prefer that. But I did find that if I clip this onto my shirt, it would often pull down my shirt. Like it would just sag in a way that I found kind of annoying. So one little accessory that isn't from DJI that I invested in is this little thing. And this is actually just a action cam mount for a camera. So I can clip that on and I can essentially put an action cam on it. I sort of don't really use this bit. What I do instead is that I will have this around my neck, and that can be underneath my shirt if I want it to be. And then I can sort of come in here and might need to take that magnet off. And again, I can have that clipped on there. And I just found that that held it in place a little bit better. So I think that was definitely worth investing in, and it's very inexpensive, that one. So that's really cool. All right. The other thing too, and because I haven't really mentioned it, I think it is worth mentioning briefly, is the Mic Mini. So DJI have the Mic Mini and now the Mic Mini 2. And again, there is that Mic Mini 2S that's apparently coming out later in the year. These are, they look very similar to the Mic 3, especially this version. But these are only microphones. They don't have any inbuilt storage, so you can't record to them at all. But they are really nifty, and they're a lot cheaper than the Mic 2 and Mic 3. So if that is something that you're considering, you can do that. Again, they come in this cool little case if you buy them in that fashion. And again, you've got the transmitter, which in this case, again, just keep in mind that this transmitter is just for the Mic Mini. If you want to mix and match, you probably do need the mobile receiver. And you can also buy this in all kinds of different configurations. And I guess the thing that a lot of people have been excited about is that you actually get these different colored covers. So if you want to fashion accessorize, you can certainly do that as well. So that's probably all I really wanted to cover today in terms of the DJI Mics. Again, if you want to check out this article I've written, you can head over to johnlacey.com/news, and that'll bring you to the LinkedIn article. I guess in some ways I'm still experimenting with these microphones. I kind of want to see what I can do with them. There's all kinds of possibilities in mixing and matching. And again, I think that they're really worthwhile because, again, you know, you can have them, the Mic 2 and the Mic 3 specifically, you can have sort of as just little audio recording devices. You can choose to connect them to a camera. You can just sync that audio with the video in post if you want to do that as well. There are all kinds of options. But again, once you've got a receiver, and if you want to mix and match different mics to a receiver, get the mobile one. If you've got two of the same, you can definitely check that out. And Walter writes, I will check out your LinkedIn article to learn more about the mics. Thank you very much. All right, so this is going to be a shorter one than usual, but I do really appreciate your company. If you've got any questions, if you've got any feedback about any mics that you're using in your world, I'd love to hear about them. But I just wanted to call out that these are really, really nifty. And I must admit, when I first got my Osmo Pocket 3, the Mic 2 came with it. And at that point in time, I thought, I've already got mics. I probably won't use this, but I'll just get it anyway. And I've been really impressed by how good it's been. So definitely check it out if that is something that you're interested in. And just keep in mind too that if you don't need the backup audio recording, the Mic Minis are very, very cheap comparatively anyway, compared to the other offerings. I should mention too, just in passing, and I don't have a lot of experience with this because I don't have the DJI Mic 3 receiver, but the Mic 3 potentially lets you connect 4 microphones, 4 transmitters, and 8 receivers. So you can connect those to different cameras, to different phones. You can record a lot of different things and work with them as well. It also has some timecode options in there, which again, the nerdy part of me wants to explore a little bit, but I don't know that I, as a single content creator, have a lot of use case for that, but it is interesting to know nonetheless. So those are your options. Check it out. If you've got other microphones that you use too, I should say that we're kind of really spoiled with technology in the modern age. Is that it's all really good. So sometimes reviews can sound a little bit whiny and a little bit critical when you go on YouTube and elsewhere. So just keep that in mind. And like, you don't need to drop, if you've got something that works for you, you don't need to drop it and buy these. Just check them out if it makes sense for you. But thank you so much for your company today. Have a great week and have a great weekend when you get there. And I will talk to you again very, very soon.